Here's the hike I went on yesterday. It was led by Laura, and she posted it a couple of places, but it was posted here on HHH. These are some of the people that went. In fact, these are all the people that went from HHH, and it was a good time. It was an adventure from a whole bunch of different perspectives. One was just going down 60, Highway 60 to get there. We started at Bash's. We all met at Bash's, and we enjoyed it, but on the way down, the car I was in got whacked. We started at Bash's here, and all the way down Superstition Freeway, we got whacked by a luggage rack that came off of the vehicle in front of us and smashed our windshield. We couldn't go any farther, so we called up Laura, and she returned with everybody to split us up so we could all go together. I really want to thank Todd for letting me ride with him, and it was an enjoyable time. But it was another adventure going up the road, and I'll show that in the map I'm going to post next. But it was an adventure from a whole bunch of different, perspectives for sure. Here's what Hike Arizona actually has to post about it. And here's a picture of the ruins, and this is the hike that we did. Now, for some reason, my GPS didn't work on the way down, but it worked on the way up, so I'll post that with this video. And but it was a good time. I definitely want to thank Laura for leading it, and for Todd for driving us, and for everybody that went. It was a lot of fun. It was a good chance to meet a lot of people I hadn't met before, and really pleasant. Thanks again. We started at Bash's. That's where we all met, at Bash's, and then we came along here. The car I was in was hit by a luggage carrier rack in the windshield. And so I think it was right about, where was it? I think it was right about here where it got hit. And then we pulled over here. We couldn't go any farther, and I'm glad we didn't, because like I mentioned, had we been on the road, and you'll see it in a minute, but the windshield might have fallen out. So I hope they got back there safely. But we parked here and then called Laura and had everybody come back and split up and went our way. And then we came down here to Queen Valley, and then we cut over here on Queen Valley Road. And then we got into the interesting, it was okay up to about here. This is a dirt road, but there's a couple places here it got pretty intense. Well, take that back. It's probably right here where we turn off here, and this road was pretty intense. Right here, there's a, I think it's right there, yeah. There's a really tight turn, and you can turn, but you have to go out and come in and go out and come in a couple times before you can get back on the road, because it's so tight. And it was fun. I posted some pictures on Facebook, and I'll be posting this video there too. But just for fun, we can just look at it. I don't know if I want to fly it because it takes a long time, but you can get an idea of the road. Well, I'll just go along here a little bit and see if we can find a couple of places here. The road's pretty decent there. I don't know where this is in the scheme of things, but it got pretty intense up here. Yeah, I think it was right here is where it started to get pretty intense, and a couple places here were pretty tight, and that's where, here's where the real tight one is right there. So anyway, that gives you an idea. Let's zoom in just a little bit, and you can see, shoot, let's see if we can fly it. I want to go a little bit here and then fly it in, he says. Doesn't look too bad there, does it? Well, with the rain, it was pretty gross, I'll tell you. And big boulders and stuff out in the road. And it was interesting. It was interesting. I don't know what it's doing here, but it's going up. He says, yeah. Yeah, I got a little bit, you can see even there, and this is before the rain, I would think. You can see how bad it was. A couple places there, I think. Where was it? Up here a ways? It's where one car we had to leave. But pretty intense. And then we get up the trailhead, he says. Let's speed it up a bit. Get you dizzy. Whoa! Yeah. Anyway, then we get to the trailhead, right? He says right there. That's where the turnoff hairpin turn was. And then we get the trailhead. I was surprised at how many vehicles were there. There weren't too many because we went fairly early. And then there was a bunch of ones that were coming up when we were going down at night. And boy, it was hard enough to do this in the daytime, but at night it would be pretty incredible. Anyway, this is where we went, and this is the hike. Let me go back and we'll fly the hike. I really didn't. Okay, this is the directions here. Let's get rid of those. I really didn't. This is the path here, I think. Yeah. I didn't have my, like I mentioned, I didn't have my GPS on going down, but I did coming back up. It wasn't super fast. It says 1.7 here, and that's where I started up down below. So I was going uphill. Coming down there was some bushwhacking, some route finding. It was interesting to say the least, but enjoyable. I'm glad I did it. And we got a chance the ruins were right over here. I think they're right here. You can't see them very well, but right there. And so let's fly it just for fun. We got the right path here. Yeah, good. Started there at the base. I wonder if you can see the ruins here. No, it's kind of in the shadow, I think. But anyway, let's speed it up a wee bit. And went up. Now, we did cross the river. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut it 9 times. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's hard to tell. 10. It was a lot of times we had to cross. There was water running in it, but not a lot. And I didn't get my boots wet hardly at all. Got a little muddy, and I posted a picture of some of the mud. And there was some tracks in the mud, but yeah, it reminded me of the road coming up. Coming up here reminded me of the road as well. A couple times you can see we got off trail. I got off trail. Luckily I had GPS I could get back on, but it wasn't trivial. And anyway, there we are back at the trailhead. And then the adventure goes for going back down, and I'll post some video of that too as well. I think you'll enjoy it. This gives you an idea of what the road was like going up.
Traffic jam.
It wasn't trivial, that's for sure. I'm glad I wasn't driving. Here is where the car got stuck and had to be pushed out, and when it lost its fender there and had to be put back on. Luckily nobody was hurt, and I hope the car is okay. Here is a nicer road as we went down. It wasn't quite as bad.